Hello, dear students. I am Ratan Singh. I am information security and forensic practitioner, learner, and today I am going to deliver IDPS, intrusion detection prevention system. So, before starting the detailed description of IDPS, let me clear one thing. Intrusion detection prevention system is a topic which comes under the operational control, the topic which comes under the system monitoring and controlling and mitigation the intrusions over the information system. So, to better understand IDPS, working of IDPS, in this particular session, this is the part one. In a part two and part three onwards, we will deal with some practical demonstration of IDPS. We will go with Snort and Suricata. Both are the open source tools and compatible in all platforms. So to better understand that particular things, let me clear one thing. We have to understand about the VAPT properly. We have to understand about the attacking patterns. We have to understand about the different type of the attacking scenarios and vulnerabilities, penetration methodologies, payloads, how we can test the malwares, how we can test the network based intrusion, web application based, and along with ethical hacking methodologies and ethical hacking practices. Then only I recommend it, then only you can start IDPS. But if you don't have much more information about those things, so don't worry. In the session I just started everything from the very beginning, so that you will not feel any point of time to much more difficulty to understand the things. Okay, so in intrusion detection prevention system, we are going to cover some introductory part of IDPS, review of information security practices, obviously, as I told you, limitations of firewalls, uh, traditional cyber defense, and what are the current existing challenges, obviously classifications, what are the signature based, anomaly based, host based, network based, and then some overview of Snort, practical hands-on. What I believe, without the practical exercising of any tools and technology, it cannot be explored properly. So some practical demonstration of Snort and installation, configuration, and operation manuals. So in this part, this is the part one of IDPS, where we will discuss about the theoretical part. In part two and three, we will discuss the all operational part. So obviously some SolarWind and Suricata IDPS, and why and how we choose an IDPS. So these all things are actually we will going to cover in upcoming couple of minutes. So IDPS is basically a system where anyone try to detect intrusion, obviously, and prevent the intrusions. So basically, firstly, let me clear one thing, that is, what is intrusion. Intrusion can be considered as a malicious activity in information system comes by the incidence, count by the different type of the correlation of the incidents. So when any malicious incidents occurs in your information system, it can be considered as the intrusion always considered as a malicious, because whenever you are try to do any type of things which is not come under the rules, you are going to violate any rules, you are going to steal any data, you are going to you're going to install a rootkit in any type of the information system, or you are going to do some exploitation of any system, then it can be considered as malicious, and each and every intrusion is malicious because somehow you are trying to break the integrity of information system. So these all type of the malicious activity, so, can be considered as intrusion. Once you know about the intrusions, then the second terminology, detection of intrusion. Detection means once your system is in a matured level of working, and any type of the incidents happen between the events, you know, na, events means the network devices and the all nodes who are responsible for exchanging the data, who are responsible for the operational control of any information system, they can be considered as a event. So any type of events perform any incidents which is like um thread over CIA triangle, like which is like a thread of authenticity, thread of availability, thread of confidentiality, thread of any type of integrity in information security architecture. If any event or any node or any device inside the information security architecture try to do some unwanted activity, that can be considered as a time of detection. Once any activity start being malicious, at the time your system should detect it and prevent it. In the sense of prevention, believe me, I have worked with many information security projects and many type of research projects also. So believe me, there is a very few amount of time you have for the prevention in live traffic, in live environment. So once any type of the malicious activity occur in your information system, you have to detect it and you have to predict it. So for detection prevention of malicious activity, there is a system in information security architecture that is known as the intrusion detection prevention system. So why we required intrusion detection prevention system? While we have uh, firewalls, we have antiviruses, we have anti-worm, anti-thefts, or complete security package or not. Why we required IDPS? Basically, there is some limitations of IDPS because firewall firewall cannot be evaluate the multiple incidents. It means suppose any one incident is malicious and second incident is proving that first one is not malicious. Sometime you will find out the information of any traffic of any packet or any web-based request or reply, that it is looking like a malware, it is suspicious type of thing, but it is not a malicious, not a directly malicious. So firewall cannot correlate the different logs. Firewall cannot correlate the different type of the incidents and can be considered as it is a malicious or not. IDPS will facilitate you to correlate the different type of the logs, different type of the incidences which is happened inside the information system, and drag you in a conclusion that it is a genuine packet or it is a malicious packet. It is genuine incidents or it is a malicious incident. So firewall has its own restrictions. Secondly, antiviruses and all, they have their libraries and the attacks which comes under the library parameter. It means they define the things, and if any activity happened similar to their library, then they will fix it. Otherwise if any anomaly based attacks or any as I explained you that multiple correlations of multiple events, then these type of things cannot be detect and cannot be prevent also. So and the third very important thing, that is a false positive. False positive is very important. False positive, like if there is no fire but there is a fire. If there is a fire but alarm is saying that there is a no fire, it is known as a false positive. So sometime we consider as there is a no any malicious events occur, but your system is responding, your system is alarming that there is incidents. So it is like a false positive where you just your system is lying with you. So basically we have to avoid it. Otherwise once you detect, because once you detect any malicious activity inside the information system, your prevention system immediately active accordingly. Your scanning system, monitoring system, different type of the systems accordingly trick the different type of the another systems. So false positives should be minimized. This is a critical challenge for the any information security based product or information security based any system. Okay, so basically these are the limitations of firewalls and traditional IDS IPS. One more thing which is very important, that sometime the packet is looking like genuine, sometime traffic is looking like genuine, but there is a not genuine, like phishing mails, like phishing sites and all. So at that time your firewall cannot evaluate that particular intrusion, that particular thread which occurs by the genuine traffic. So these are the limitations. That's why we required IDPS. As we explained that what is IDPS. Now come to the agenda. That is classification to the IDPS and IDS. Basically, signature-based IDS, anomaly-based IDS, network-based intrusion prevention system, host-based intrusion prevention system, wireless-based intrusion prevention system, and network behavior analysis. These all are the type of intrusion detection prevention system. They have their different type of the working. They have their different type of the operational controls and operational exercises, which we will understand in upcoming slides. So let me clear the first one, that is signature based IDS. Signature based IDS is like a intrusion detection system which has its own library, and in library this type of the system defines certain attacks which has certain signatures, and once this type of the signature occurred in your information system, then your IDS will report. It means library based system where you have certain marks, certain behavior, certain patterns, certain signatures, certain codes. If these type of things occur in your system, then it can be considered as a threat. Otherwise it cannot be considered as a threat. So signature based system. Anomaly based system, it can be considered as a when multiple type of the incidents can be considered suspicious, but you are not clear that these things are malicious. So anomaly based detection uh, come in presence, like where you just deploy some decision making system like machine learning algorithms or machine learning based approaches, where you will decide that by the correlation of multiple events, that this is the anomaly, this is the abnormal behavior of my system, and this is a malicious activity, this is an intrusion, we have to stop it, we have to prevent it, we have to take the further mitigation actions. So it can be considered as an anomaly based. Third is network based IDS. This particular IDS is deployed in a network where you are going to monitor the network activity, because what is the internet, what is the hyper connected society, what is the digital world, everything is about to one line, that is referred to the exchanging of data by two nodes, or exchanging of data by two or more than two nodes. So if exchanging of data is a who crux of entire this architecture. Who crux is referred from the Harry Potter, I think all of you know. So if the main thing or if the key thing is exchanging of data, so what is the medium of exchanging the data? Exchanging the data means there is some channels, there is some network which is responsible to uh, take data one node to another node, like that. So if we deploy optimize ideas in a network, inside the network, then we will control, then we will monitor the all traffic which is going outside, which is coming inside. And once you monitor the network packet, then believe me, 90% risk you will mitigate, because 90% attacks comes from the network. and if you monitor the network properly, you deploy proper NIDs, then 90% risk you mitigated from the rest of the world to your system. So network based IDPS, host based IDPS, it is deployed in your system, in your host, and when some hosts are dealing with some servers, any type of the web servers, mailing servers, application based servers, then your host has certain ideas, and once any traffic go outside from your host, it will be investigated by the IDS. When any packet come outside to your host, then your host will be responsible for their analysis and their investigation. So host based IDS. So network based IDS is plotted in network, in between your system and network. And secondly, host based IDS, it is plotted inside your system, means along with firewall. And there is an example, very excellent tool, very finest tool I have to explain, that is a Snort. I'm working with Snort since last 5 years, and I'm really satisfied with Snort's working. And it is open source tool. You all can download it, Snort, and there is a number of tool available for your practice, but Snort is one of them. And firstly, I recommend Snort. Just go and analyze load. After that, there is a number of tools is also available for your practices. So here in this particular part one, I will explain the snort working, sorry, snorts working. And in part 2 and part 3 we will go with some practical examples with installation, configuration and operations, where we see that we attack in a system and how our system will analyze that particular thing or not. So in part 1 we have to cover the information about the that particular tool. So firstly, like the screen, network infrastructure, there is a network infrastructure, it is outside network, there is a packet coming from the network infrastructure, capture packet through sniffing. So Snort firstly capture the packet, then start processing the packet. Then your all packet goes to Snort detection engine and rule set. Rule set means the signatures, the predefined library, and detection engine, which is utilized as a verifier. If the packet is coming, if the packet has certain malicious behavior, then alarm can be triggered, otherwise not. And some traffic is goes to the plugin and packet decoding. So note plugin and classification of packet through ML. So in a processor there is a mechanism, there is a new mechanism. This is anomaly based node mechanism. It is followed by Cisco also, where the suspicious packet is redirected to the new plugin. Basically, in older version, we just analyze the packet by rule set, but here we have some ML, machine learning based detection engine also. It is a plugin. Plugin has certain different library which is created using the machine learning, and as per the result, alarm will trigger and log file will be analyzed for the further course of action. So hands-on installation and configuration, obviously it is important, and without it the session cannot be complete. So in part 2 I will demonstrate you the installation, configuration and obviously operational things. In operational things, rules and library configuration we will see and analyze. So basically in practical session we will see how Snort actually working, rule set and all, but some basic terminology we need to be clear. First, packet acquisition. Packet acquisition Snort analysis. Packet acquisition Snort analysis means the acquired packet, the packet which is snipped from the network, should acquired in detection engine. Then reading the PCAP files. PCAP file is responsible for the reading the traffic. You all, I think, work with Wireshark and TCP dump. So basically, Wireshark, TCP dump, WinDump, these are the protocols has a function that is a PCAP. PCAP is basically utilized to reading the packets which is traveling in the network. Then Snort control socket. Actually, Snort has different sockets to control the entire analysis part, understanding the sniffer and logger mode. A sniffer is basically the thing where you are going to sniff something. It means you are going to uh, capture the packet. You are going to capture the packet and throw to some engine like this. And packet logger where you have a log management system. So packet logger in a snort where you have a log management system, sniffer where you capture the packet, acquisition where you acquire the entire packet for the detection, function of IDS and IP access control list. IP access control list, once you are going to configure the IDPS, then there is a IP access control list. IP access control in IP access control list, you just listed down certain IPs that is allowed for the inside of the network, and certain IP you have that is not allowed for the list. So like the access control list and all, and capabilities and different type of functions. Then vulnerability assessment. So one, I think vulnerability is I think basic understanding of Snort rules. Snort has configuration rules and some custom rules. Configuration rules, that rules which are really required for Snort configuration. Custom rules, the rules which are designed for the blocking of a network, for analyzing of network, for justifying any signatures. Sorry. Then I already explained IDS and IDS, HIDS. So, and the rest of the things which remain undiscussed, that will be covered in the practical demonstration when in a part 2 and part 3. There is n number of tool available, like for the IDPS. First is Snort, OSSIC, Suricata, Bro, Chagans, Security Onion, AID, Open, Whips, NG, and Summon and fail to ban Unix based OS. So these are the tools which are available, and all are the freewares. All are the freewares. So these are now come to the next, that is operational keywords. So intrusion detection. I think detection of intrusion, false positive. False positive means doing some false work. It means there is a no intrusion, but your system is reporting like intrusion. False negative means there is intrusion, but your system is not reporting. And true positive, if there is intrusion and your system is reporting like there, yes, there is intrusion. True negative, no intrusion, no reporting. These are the keywords and parameters also. Intrusion detection rate, the rate of detection of malicious file can be considered as intrusion detection rate, and how many files are prevented in detected files can be considered as intrusion prevention rate. Accuracy, what is the rate of detection and what is the rate of prevention, that comes to the accuracy of IDPS. Fault tolerant, if there is any fault, how your system is robust, how your system is competent to tolerate any type of faults, can be considered as fault tolerant. IDPS is fault tolerant system because it is really randomized, it is really busy, it is really engageable. So it is fault tolerant. Information security threats, the threats like someone attacking your system, capturing a traffic, using a PCAP file for capturing the packets, malwares, the tiny codes, small code which is considered as a malicious code, benign traffic, the traffic which is genuine, the traffic which has no malwares, which has no any malicious activity, anomaly or misbehaving, where the behavior of any packet is not good, that can be considered as an anomaly. Then secondly, there is a working keywords. In a working keyword, the first is scanning attacks. If attack is happened, how we can scan it. If you scan the attack, then it can be known as scanning attacks. Asymmetric routing, or symmetric routing, where you follow the path or where not follow the path. Buffer overflow attack, like where the it is like a flood, where you create a flood. So if you create a flood, that can be flood, or you upload a packet, you upload a buffer, you upload any data on any certain application which has the oversize, it can be considered as a buffer overflow attack. Protocol specific attack, the attack which happened on a certain protocol, like if someone wants to exploit TCP, or someone wants to exploit 21 port 21 malwares. You know the malwares, I think I explained it. Traffic flooding, when we create a millions of flood in a second to block the traffic, that can be considered as a traffic flooding. IDS for Windows, it means IDS for Mac, IDS for Linux. Every platform we have IDS, and there is a different type of the configuration management system, but every type of platform we have IDS. And some tools, as I explained in last slide. So basically for creating a environment for testing, we required some tools: Nmap, Wireshark, Metasploit, Nuisys, Magic Tree, John and Ripper, Hashcat, Hydra, and number of tool we have to penetrate, to exploit any system, or to attack any system. So these tools are useful for the attacking any system, if and where the IDS installed. So in one system we install IDS, and in another system where we start attacking to that particular system and try to identify that there is a detection rate, there is a prevention rate, and there is accuracy. So these all are things which is required for the understanding the practical working of IDS. And one of the important thing, how we choose any intrusion detection system. Basically, intrusion detection system can be choose as per the need, as per the system information system you have. Suppose you are working with web application, then you required some network based ideas. Suppose you have a lot of work, so you are working as a server, or you are dealing with proxy server, you need to have some host based intrusion detection prevention system. Suppose you are dealing with complex and hyper connected and really busy traffic, you required an anomaly based intrusion detection prevention system. So as per the system, you required IDS, and as per the need of your challenges, as per the challenges, and as per the critical complex procedure of your system, you required a IDS along, and simultaneously you choose your IDS. Otherwise, if you choose bad IDS, then it will be useless for your system. So this is the window, some screenshots. I bring some screenshots for you. Why I bring it? Because I want to explain many things from IDS, like node health. These are like the left corner, there is a node health, where you can see that the health of node is declaring, and event logs, all events are reflecting, all event types are reflecting: user login, policy scope, user log off, machine log on, like different type of the events, and user log on by different type of administrator, or another user login failure, how many time your login is failure. All attack, you can see the graphical interfaces of security SEM, basically security event manager. And here the all type of incidents and evidence is reflecting in front of you, that is showing that how efficiently your IDS can be work, how efficiently your IDPS can be work. SolarWind security mechanism also show the in deep where you can deploy the filters, you can deploy the filters along with their keywords. Okay, so if you deploy the filters along with their keywords, you will find your logs. These are the logs, and along as the logs can analyzed further, and on the basis of further analysis, you can justify that it is malicious or it is not malicious. Suricata, it is also one of the very important intrusion detection prevention system. The interface of Suricata is reflecting in front of you, where we can see that the different type of the output graphic in a graphical interface. In different type of the outputs like HTTP versions, HTTP methods, status code, TLS versions, alerts, alarms, user agents, TLS subjects. So these all things can be assessed and can be managed. So wait for the part 2, just go for the part 2 and part 3. In a part 2 we will analyze snort, and in a part 3 we will analyze the suricata, or different type, or any different type of the idps. So thank you so much for hearing me, and be start practicing the idps.